A storm is upon us as we're nearing the NBA draft. Superstars like Kevin Durant, Giannis, Trae Young, or even Jaylen Brown could wind up on a different team. The first domino already fell when Desmond Bane got traded for KCP, Cole Anthony, and 4 first-round picks to the Orlando Magic. And my first thoughts were as everyone else's, wow, that's a lot for a guy like Bane. But his new coach and his teammates are loving the addition of Desmond, going as far as saying things like this.
I texted him, yesterday morning and said, I'm excited to start this championship journey with you.
Whoa, slow down there, partner. Yes, he's going to elevate their perimeter ball handling and three-point shooting a lot, but is he really the piece that puts the Magic above teams like the Pacers, the Knicks, or the Cavs, assuming that Celtics would be out of the picture with Tatum's Achilles surgery? And you must consider teams like the Pistons, the Bucks, and even the 76ers who are looking to bounce back after an injury-riddled season too. So getting Bane is certainly a move into a positive direction, but I feel like they're still 2 pieces away from being a real contender in the East. Wendell Carter Jr. is not a starting caliber center for a championship squad whatsoever. Also, both Bane and Suggs are shooting guards, and they still need a true point guard who's going to put them into a position to be successful. Tyus Jones is a free agent come June 30th, so they should act fast if they want to pick him up. They had the second best defense behind OKC this year, and they're going to continue to be a nightmare for opposing teams on that side of the ball next season as well. But they still need more firepower to counteract the East elite in my opinion. Just listen to this absolutely wild stat by Zach Lowe.
Freaking God, it's time. They haven't had a top 20 offense in the NBA since 2012.
Is that
It's one of my favorite stats in the NBA. They're the Joe DiMaggio of shitty NBA offenses. Top 20. There are only 30 teams in the NBA.
Dude.
You know how hard that is? How many years in a row is that? That's 13 straight years of bottom 10 offenses. It's about freaking time.
Stat.
Speaking of teams that lacked offensive firepower in the playoffs, the Rockets come instantly to my mind as a possible suitor for Kevin Durant. He's the hot topic right now as of nearly every summer in the last 5 years. KD made it clear that his preferable destinations are the Spurs, the Rockets, and the Heat. Per Shams, San Antonio is the least active team in pursuing Durant, leaving Miami and Houston as the more realistic options. On the contrary, the Timberwolves are a wildcard team that's most interested in KD's services, but sources say that he shut down those talks immediately. Miami can offer contracts like Andrew Wiggins and Terry Rozier to match money, plus 1 or 2 young players like Kel'el Ware, Nikola Jokic, and Jaime Jaquez. If they can somehow get Durant alongside Bam and Hero while keeping their promising center and Kel'el Ware, they can be very competitive in the East next year. But the potential pairing I like the most is with the Rockets. If they can somehow swap Jalen Green and some picks for Durant, you're looking at a powerhouse in the West next year. The only thing Houston lacked in the series against the Warriors was a go-to guy in the half-court offense when the game slowed down. And what better upgrade can you get than the Slim Reaper? KD's the only player besides Nikola Jokic to shoot above 50% from the field and 40% from three-point range this past season among high-volume scorers.
Across the board to Durant, 2 on the shot clock. Boom! You know who he is.
He's the deadliest mid-range scorer in the history of the league, a guy that's been there and done that. And with all the defensive talent around him, the Rockets can go up against everyone really. The logical follow-up question is, what the heck are the Suns supposed to do with Jalen Green when they already have Booker and that guy with the no-trade clause? People are saying that KD's market is a little bit light right now because teams know how bad the Suns want to trade him. No team is gonna be willing to unload a ton of draft capital for the 37-year-old. The Rockets would probably offer a package of Fred Van Vleet, 1 first-round pick, and someone like Cam Whitmore or Tari Eason. That's it. So is Phoenix willing to part ways with him for that much? Multiple teams are required to pull this off, so it's going to be tricky. If we don't see a deal for him around the draft, it's possible he stays in Arizona until February's trade deadline. And the trade talks about Giannis Antetokounmpo have winded down a lot since Shams announced that the Greek Freak is available for negotiations about a month and a half ago. Giannis even took a jab at Shams by tweeting, "Does anyone else miss Woj?" Also, Brian Windhorst said that as of right now, there's no trade market for Antetokounmpo. And how could there be when the possible landing spots for him in the East are the Raptors and the Nets? I mean, why would he ever want to go to Toronto or Brooklyn and play with a lower quality roster than what he already has in Milwaukee? And I can't see a scenario where he goes out to the West to experiment with teams in a bloodbath competition. We all know the love between him and the Bucks is huge. The most plausible outcome is his front office trying to squeeze a deal to trade Kuzma and a couple of second rounders for a slightly better option like Cam Johnson, for example, to try and convince Giannis to stay loyal and wait for Dame to heal back. And once free agency opens, someone like D'Angelo Russell may be exactly what the Bucks need at the moment. Mind you, they've beat the Thunder to win the in-season tournament back in December, meaning they can navigate their way in a tournament style of play. They just haven't had luck to be fully healthy in the Dame and Giannis era.
Nice for the defense. Giannis gives it back to Dame. Dame looking for Giannis.
And everyone is eager to know what the Lakers are going to do this offseason after a disappointing first-round exit to the Timberwolves in 5 games. Their hopes for a better roster depend heavily on LeBron's decision whether he'll opt into his $53 million contract or opt out to take a pay cut and give the team a financial freedom to pursue a big-time free agent. So Lakers fans must wait till June 29th when James is due to officially decide his and LA's near future. Potential center upgrades for the Lakers are Nick Claxton, Daniel Gafford, and Clint Capella, according to Jovan Buha, a senior NBA reporter for The Athletic that's been covering the Lakers for a long time now. They would certainly need to part ways with either Dalton Connect or Rui Hachimura plus draft picks in order to get one of the big men to LA. If there's a world where James takes a significant pay cut, there are a couple of free agents like Naz Reid and John Collins that the Lakers could go after. And even Miles Turner, who's most likely to get a big extension given the circumstances of him and the Pacers competing for a title as we speak. And the Celtics would logically want to stick with Jaylen Brown, who's supposed to be their leader with Tatum's absence next season. But there's news about San Antonio being most interested in him outside of KD and Giannis. Given their flexibility, they can offer the world to Boston in exchange for Brown. If Bane converted in 4 picks, Jaylen is certainly worth more. And the Spurs can do that. It's a matter of who wants it more. Per Sharania, the Celtics offseason focus is hearing trade offers for guys like Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, and Sam Hauser as they prefer to keep Brown and White intact. Also, rumors about Trae Young parting ways with the Hawks have been very loud at the start of the playoffs, but they calmed down a ton. Zach Lowe reported around the draft combine that he heard some news about a trade to the Jazz for a package of Sexton and Collins. The Jazz have all the assets to do it, it's just a question whether they feel like pairing Young and Markkanen is something worth spending time on. June 25th is the NBA draft, where dominoes are expected to start falling. And prior to Game 6 of the NBA Finals, check out my last video where I broke down how the Thunder made Halliburton rethink his life decisions with their stifling defense. Click right here and talk to you in the next one. Peace out.